to Bourbon Taste-Offs, playoff brackets of the best whiskeys. Join us in our season-long quest to find our tastiest bourbon. And here is the bracketology of our last 6 months of taste-offs. We are halfway done with the 4-quarter year. We are anxious to find what our next 2 quarterly winners are. We're narrowing it down from 192 bottles to just 1. Follow along to find out what our tastiest bourbon is. Cheers. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us on Bourbon Taste-Offs. This is episode number 43, and we are now going to be tasting some Ben Holladay bourbons, which are all out of Missouri. And I am one of your hosts. I'm Todd.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Adam.
And we are going to taste these off and come out with a winner of the Ben Holladay options. I think 2 of them are bottle and bond, and 2 of them are rickhouse proof. So we're going to have some 120.1 proofers against a couple of 100 proofers. And we're going to find out what Ben Holladay out of Missouri is going to take this episode. And we are going to show you the lineup right now. Here they are. The bottle lineup in this episode is, in glass 1, is a Holladay soft red wheat, aged 6 years, and is rickhouse proof at 120.1 proof. Glass 2 is Ben Holladay Missouri straight bourbon whiskey, bottled in bond, aged 7 years at 100 proof. Glass 3 is Ben Holladay Missouri straight bourbon whiskey, rickhouse proof, aged 6 years and is 120.1 proof. And glass 4 is the Holladay soft red wheat, bottled in bond, aged 6 years at 100 proof. So we're going to taste these things off, and I'm pretty excited for this. I know, like, early episodes, Dan made a joke about me, like, taking bottles from him and like keeping them. Well, we actually still have a bottle from Dan. So
perfect.
One week I actually tasted it. I'm like, oh, it's a Ben Holladay. And
what was it? Oh, a Ben Holladay?
It was a Ben Holladay, and I can't remember exactly which one because I don't know if it was a bottle and bond. I don't know if it was a rickhouse proof, but I tasted it and I was like, I have to remember this tasting profile because to me it tastes like a Now and Later or a fruity. Not a roll-up, but it was just fruity. And I can't wait to taste these and actually see if it still holds true or if it was something I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. I've never had anything from Ben Holladay's lineup.
Okay. It's a Missouri thing.
Yeah.
It'd almost be like having a Wisconsin thing, like a J. Henry or a Driftless Glen.
Well, what we found out is there's a lot of places that make really good whiskey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Missouri's Midwest, kind of.
Right?
I classify them, yeah.
But really freaking humid all the time. So I'm wondering, like, how does the humidity
play
in? I feel like Kentucky has a little bit more arid than Missouri.
Right.
It's got to be kind of in the same, like, geographical, like, longitudinal situation, right?
It is, yeah. I'd think so.
Yeah.
Kentucky, Southern Illinois.
Right.
And then
Missouri is kind of the same time. Yeah.
I guess it depends on where the distillery is because Missouri is actually a pretty big state.
Yeah, that's true. Missouri's more north-south than Kentucky's more
Missouri
east-west.
touches Arkansas.
Yeah.
Speaking from personal experience, Missouri is miserable sometimes during the summer. It is freaking hot.
I'd say the worst car ride I've ever had was driving from Chicago to Memphis because it's just Illinois and nothing but just plains.
But that's going the opposite way. That has nothing to do with Missouri.
Yeah, but you're saying that Missouri's a long north-south state with...
Oh, yeah. My issue with Missouri was more the heat. And this is why I can never live in Florida during the summer. The heat and then more the humidity. It's humid inside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you should,
full AC all the time.
Yeah, we stayed at my family. We'd rented like a 10-person or 10-bedroom or 8-bedroom thing down in Branson, Missouri. It was really cool, but it's freaking hot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think last time I was in Branson, it was like late fall, so like not a good,
probably perfect time of year.
Yeah, it was
gorgeous.
It wasn't humid.
Yeah,
yeah.
Probably a good place to like. Hey, like not bad during the winter, but just miserable during the summer.
Gotcha.
That's one of the dilemmas I think I'm coming across with getting closer and closer to retirement. It's like I'm a big golfer fan, and it's like I want to golf like year round, but I do not like to like melt in the middle of my swing. Like it's crazy.
Well, there's a reason why there's snowbirds.
Yes.
Right. That is true, and that's one of the options we're going to have to make. Do we want to winter in a southern state? Do we want to come back north in a winter or a southern or
Just winter
summer?
in Louisville.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a nice option. It's nice to be thinking about that kind of stuff. I still have
Frankfurt's gorgeous. in
over
the
8
spring.
years to think about it. So, but in the meantime, we're going to be thinking about bourbons, and this is a Missouri bourbon, so it's called Ben Holladay. And I kind of prefaced it with being we have a couple bottle and bonds, we have a couple rickhouse proofs, and two of the bottles are wheated, and 2 of them are straight bourbons. So we're going to find out what they are.
Ready for the roll?
Yeah, well, let's roll this thing up. We're going to roll up and find out that it said 1. We'll add 1, so it's 1 against 2. So we don't have to change it at all.
It's definitely proof plus. I get like chocolate and like not like milk chocolate. When I say chocolate, I'm talking like a dark chocolate cocoa nib kind of feel on it. It's dry, so it kind of has a little bit of stringency to it, almost like a red wine, like a Cabernet, not a Merlot. But I enjoy it. It's good. It's definitely, like I said, definitely proof plus.
I am getting now and later on it again. Maybe
You're
that's
getting
just
fruit.
Maybe it's in my brain where it's like whenever I taste something like this, it's like,
Man, have you had a now and later since the 90s? I'm just wondering.
well, not a alcohol forward one, but this would be an alcohol forward now and later. Like it's like it's just very sweet, but at the end it's like drying. It's like I don't know. It's like got the
So adults call that astringent,
okay.
like red wine.
Okay. Thank you. I love talking to adults.
No, I understand. I get that fruit that you're talking about. But
Right.
it dissipates quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, it's like
Like a marzipan.
yeah.
Sorghum.
Guys, you know what? You guys need to learn your words, okay?
We are learning so much from you, though, Adam.
I was gonna say it's kind of like a Turkish delight. But, it's fine. It's a date based.
Love it. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this. I mean, it's bright, it's forward, it's
I would actually honestly say that date would be a flavor I'd get from.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say a little
Do you
hot.
know dates? Is that
I
a
do
big
know
word for
dates.
you?
Now,
Okay.
Josh might not know,
Okay.
but Josh, do you know what dates are?
Yeah, they're
When you take
fruit.
a girl-
Situations where you're with a person of the opposite sex and you should go out somewhere.
we call that gym class.
gym class.
Okay. Yeah, we're getting goofy. But
Remember
we're wearing different outfits.
Yeah.
We are wearing different outfits.
Yeah.
I love the sweatshirt.
Yeah, I dig it. It says, you want to read it so I don't mess it up?
Bourbon is a vegetable. 51% corn by law.
I love it. Bringing the law into it, too.
Yeah,
And I actually have one that says...
Cigars solve most of my problems. Bourbon does the rest.
Very nice.
And I don't know about the cigar thing, but bourbon does the rest.
It does a lot of the legwork.
It does a lot of the legwork, yeah. So, cool. And Josh, eventually you'll have like slogans on your shirt and stuff. Hopefully it's like people
It says insert your brand
yeah,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is like a green screen.
Yeah. Yeah. We can put anything from like UPS to API to, anything.
Aria's Liquor and Cigar.
Yeah.
I keep saying it wrong.
Nice ash would be fine,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We do want to do a cigar blend at the Nice Ash. How
be
fitting
awesome.
would that be?
I just want to play cards at Nice Ash, smoke cigars, and drink whiskey with my friends.
Oh, that's a Monday thing. You can come there on Monday. And
Do they still do that?
Oh, yeah, they do. It's free poker on Mondays.
Yeah, I don't like playing for free.
Well, but it's you can still win things.
I never win. I always lose. But it's
Okay.
fun.
Well, no wonder you don't like playing for free.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to save their money?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's fun.
So if you guys tried two,
Yes.
night and day.
Yes.
Night and day.
Number two is definitely proof even. It's less proof than proof.
Yeah, one is hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
But I like hot.
Reminded of the song Hot, Hot, Hot.
Yeah.
So So is it?
I'm definitely getting that weedy, more like grain bready, sweet bready kind of flavor on it.
See, I think that's what the challenge is going to be, because we know that 2 of them are wheated. We know that 2 of them are high proof. I don't know the correlation of which one's bottle and bond, because I think there's a wheated bottle and bond. I think there's a bourbon bottle and bond. So it's going to be.
I know one of theirs is it's a soft red wheat. Is that like type of wheat they're using? Mm-hmm. Okay. So like again, we've talked about before is the different kinds of grains become very important.
Right. Yeah, and I think Missouri is, like Wisconsin, a very agricultural state.
Right. Well, the Midwest in general, we've been doing a lot of work for bringing back different grains and strains of different stuff for the whiskey world. And everybody else. So it makes total sense.
It does, and I will say that like 3 of the bottles are like 6-year aged, and 1 is like a 7-year. So I mean, they're not
close.
so they're not just sitting on it for a couple of years and saying, okay, this should do. They're like actually letting this stuff age for a while before they introduce it
Not like the
to the public.
PBR White Dog where they're like, oh, it touched a barrel.
Exactly.
It's just one oak stave that's 5 years old.
Because companies that just put it out there just to quickly get the payday. And it's like, you can't get a quick payday with a 6 and 7-year-old. Like, you have to have the patience to let it do its thing.
It's pretty brave, honestly.
Yeah.
When these guys get into like, hey, I'm going to make my own distillery, I'm going to do stuff, but I won't be able to make anything for, I won't have my own product for at least 4 years.
That's what buries most companies. Like if they start going and they just can't let it age long enough, and they start putting it out there too early because they're like, well, shoot, I need cash flow. Mm-hmm. Well, you're killing yourself early because it's not ready yet. Like,
well, that's why most people source right away, right?
Right.
True. Yeah.
They source from anything from NGP. I know Castle and Key does a lot of sourcing, and I'm sure a lot of other places do as well. But like, I think what really gets them to the point where they can start dropping that is all their other distillate. So I'd be surprised if Ben Holladay doesn't make a gin or a vodka of some kind.
I wouldn't be surprised either. I do not know if that is.
It's funny that you say that. One of the bottles I have here is the Jepson Creed vodka, and it's a pepper vodka. It's super spicy.
Is it good for like bloodies?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
That would be really good.
So we actually went there, and it was one of the only spots that actually could get in our group.
Gotcha.
Super late notice. And they had Bloody Butcher Corn bourbon. But and they had started, I don't remember when, but the smaller, not well known. But then they had other drinks or other, vodka and others, and so that's how they were able to people came there for the vodka and other stuff. So
they had a blueberry gin or something that I tried in Louisville, and I was not a huge fan of it, and it really put me off from going to the distillery. But I've seen that they've kind of stepped their game up a little bit, or the stuff.
You're talking about Jepson?
Yeah, or some of the stuff they've been wanting to put out finally got old enough. Because
Sure.
I've seen them doing better in a lot of places. So next time I go down, I'm definitely going to check it out.
And that might be an example right there of trying to get something out there just to get some cash flow, and then putting out some of your older stuff later just to...
Yeah, hey guys, we make really good clear spirits. We need time.
Right.
We'll be there. Just be patient.
But then not realizing, though, that what they put out there, as a consumer, you're like, oh, I don't even want to go visit them then because this is my first impression.
Correct.
First impression is huge.
It is.
They want the cash flow, but at the same time, you need good first impression to draw people back to your
The one thing that's
product.
cool is that Jepson Creek is actually right outside of Louisville, UW, or not UW because they're in Kentucky, but UK's golf course. It's right there.
Nice. That would draw me.
Yeah.
Nice. I think I know what I want out of these two.
I do too. Actually, I do like both of them.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing then, because
Yeah.
I think for me, one was really tough to get by the heat.
To me, the heat transferred into a sugary option, which I am not someone that goes to sugary options. I'm not a big shake person. I'm not a big candy person. I stay away from candied things.
Okay.
And so it's kind of easy for me to stay away from candied things because it's what I don't typically go for.
So you don't like the candied nuts at the state fair?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
To me, I would rather just have the nuts and just go for
Fair.
the flavor instead of just try to cover something up. And that's I brought things up in the past where it's finished in a flavored something hiding imperfections, where it's I'd rather have the organic thing and see how that correlates. Although I'm not against experimentation.
Yeah.
Like bourbon was an experiment at one point.
Right.
Like it was like Scotch, Irish whiskey, and that's like, oh, can we come up with something? It's called a bourbon. Well,
Right.
it was an experiment, and I'm so thankful they experimented. So I'm not against experiments.
Yeah.
In this situation, though, I'm gonna go with probably is a lesser proof, but it just is more approachable and just enjoyable. And so I'm going with 2.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go with number 1. I like the
Flavor bomb.
flavor bomb. I like the proof. I like the chocolate, dark fruit kind of flavor I'm getting off of it, and I just enjoy it. So
You know when you go to the like local bar and you're like, hey, give me the hottest you can get. And you're like, hey, this was really, really hot, but it had good flavor. Yeah, that wasn't number 1. I'm going with number 2.
Okay.
okay.
So here's the 2. Ben Holladay.
You like that?
I did. That reminded me a little bit of like when we had the episode in Myrtle Beach when Brian came in. It was like 1 to the fairway, 2 onto the green, a 2-putt for 4. I'm picking 4. Like, I thought it was brilliant. Like, yeah, he did a great job. And you stepped up and you did something similar, but not as good.
For Pete's sake. This guy's throwing haymakers.
I know.
We're not even into the 3rd round.
I know.
Who brought this guy? Oh, shit, it's his house.
He's trying to kick both of us off today at some point in time.
All right. Numero 3.
I'm having such a fun time with this process. Like
It is. It's nice. It's, sometimes just getting together with friends and enjoying whiskey together is good. And this actually provides a really good time to just talk about the whiskey instead of all the other bullshit. It's nice. I enjoy it.
If I'm thinking about these,
yeah, thank you.
3 is what 1 wanted to be.
Okay. So you think it's similar as far as a bourbon or a wheated?
I think it's similar. It's just a little, well, definitely more muted, but it's not muted at all. It's still a ridiculous amount of flavor.
I think 1 or I think 3 because we're doing 3 versus 4, not
Yes,
not
we
1
are.
versus 3.
Yep.
So.
Josh is here to confuse us.
No, it's cool. I think that 4 has just as much flavor as 3, but I think 3 is a higher proof point, which is interesting.
Okay.
I haven't even touched 4 yet.
I haven't touched 4 either.
I got notes.
Who's the overachiever now?
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
That's why I just try and write down stuff so I don't forget.
Yeah. So the truth about, and I think I mentioned it before, we do have 2 bottle bonds, but one of the bottle bonds is wheated, and one of the bottle bonds is straight bourbon. And then we have a rickhouse proof, which one of the rickhouse proofs is 120.1 proof, and it's
Well, that's
wheated.
number 1.
And it's wheated. And then the other rickhouse proof is a straight bourbon, and it's also 120.1 proof.
Really?
Yeah, so we're dealing with 2 bottom bonds, wheated and straight bourbon, and then a wheated and straight bourbon with a higher proof. So we have to decide about all that. I do think one was a rickhouse proof because it was pretty strong. But then we already decided 2 beat 1, so now we're over on to 3 and 4, which if you're picking 3 as being what 1 wanted to be, is probably fair to say that it's the same mash bill as far as wheated or straight bourbon. I mean, if that's a factual statement that 1 wanted to be that.
Woo.
3 is definitely got more proof.
It does.
I was thinking that too.
So I think 1 and 3 are the rickhouse, and then
I would agree.
2 and 4 are the not.
Oh,
Which then it's kind of interesting
yeah,
because
4 is really nice and mellow.
because if you had
Yeah.
if you had just an ice cube to 3, that's the tough call for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are absolutely right. I mean,
Problem with Ice Cube when you're doing that and you're trying to just compare the spirits, which is why we just do straight pours in here, is just trying to compare the spirits on it. You're not changing it in any way. But like you said, like you enjoy drinking on the rocks. So like So best example, my dad doesn't like super high proof stuff, but I got him a barrel proof for Christmas this year because I know he likes drinking it on the rocks because it'll dilute itself, so it'll contain and hold flavor. It kind of comes down to like what you are looking for in a pour. And it gets a little bit more difficult that way because, like you said, 3, I think, if you throw a couple ice cubes in that thing, it'll taste like whatever number, but it'll be good throughout the whole drinking process. I wouldn't want to put 4 on ice for me, personally, because I think it would kind of fall flat quickly.
And I think something you could like take away from this is being like, okay, so if one is 100 proof and the other one we're tasting is 120 proof, what if we put ice in the 120 proof and get it down to 100 proof and then compare them? What would our take be? Because then you're suddenly comparing them at apples to apples, where it's like one's 100 proof, one's 100 proof. Which one would actually go? And so that's part of the challenge because it's like you almost have to imagine it being at 100 proof.
We're comparing the spirits from the distillery from the spirits from the distillery.
Spot on. And then one of the issues that you have based on where you live.
Yeah.
Depending on what type of water you add, if you add tap water, if you add, distilled water.
I mean, water from New York is going to be different from water from California.
I've had some really good water in places. I've had some really horrible water in places.
Yeah, my wife only gets bottled water that are like spring fed. Like she hates purified water.
Yeah. I mean,
like it's much cheaper to get purified water, but she loves the taste on like spring water.
Well, yeah.
So that's why it's always spring fed water.
I've had some crazy water from Colorado that's just so minerally. It tastes nothing like, it tastes like a drink, not water.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're all subject to all the discrepancies of all of that stuff. So
speaking of water, what did you guys pick between 3 and 4?
I'm gonna take number 3, honestly, because I kind of go with the proof is king kind of thing. Usually resonates well with me because of its versatility as a spirit.
Well, hey, I'm going to jump in here.
Keep it together, Todd.
I don't know why he's saying speaking of water when we're tasting bourbon. Like none of it.
Corn soup.
None of it.
It's corn.
None of it correlates to water.
You're telling me there's no liquid in here.
So liquid equals water?
So did you know the reason why Kentucky bourbon tastes so good in Kentucky?
It's the limestone water.
It's because of the limestone water.
So New York should have good whiskey.
Well, if they have limestone water.
They do, which is why they say their bread and their bagels taste so much better.
Well, they do have really good bagels.
I know.
Speaking of bagels.
I thought we were speaking of water right now. Pick one.
The bagels come from limestone water, which, so in bourbon.
Well, this is Missouri.
3 is great. Great. But taking it at face value, I picked 4.
Okay, you're the first one to pick.
No, I am. I picked 3.
He was speaking of water. I was speaking of bagels.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now you're speaking for Todd.
So I'm a tiebreaker.
Avatar movies from James Cameron. It's the Bear of Water and the Town of Bagels.
I love it. What is that? What's that element that they were looking for in
Water for Elephants?
No. In Avatar.
Oh,
unobtainium. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm searching for the unobtainium in this tasting. So I got some good flavors out of 3. Has some spices. It's subtle. It's not as strong as what I thought 1 was. And then I go to 4, and it's a little more, I would say stringent. Like, why are we bringing stringent notes up for higher? I mean, it happened with the Knob Creek 18 year. We talked about stringent with that, which it was only 100 proof though. Where I think this 4 would probably be the 120 proof, or which I typically like high proof. But I like the smoothness of 3, so I'm going to go to 3.
Okay.
Wild. I think 3 is higher proof.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy if that's actually true.
Me and him both agree that 3 is higher proof.
Are you serious?
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, I can't wait to bring this out then. Mm-hmm. I think you guys are wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I think you're wrong.
I think you need to go back.
So
I think you need to go home.
I might have to. So let's bring out, what is it, 1 and 4?
1 and 4.
All right, here we go. So now we're back, and we're going to talk about what lost between 1 and 2, and it was Class 1. So if Adam will pick that out. And these are all Ben Holladays. So
number 1.
It is a Rickhouse proof, so that was the higher
correct.
proof. And I was picking like freaking desserty hard candies.
Soft red wheat Rickhouse.
It says soft red wheat, but man, that is
not soft.
It was not soft.
But I think it's soft. I think it's just the type of wheat.
But it was 120 proof.
Yeah, but I think it's the type of wheat.
Really?
Wheat.
I don't know. I mean, I love how descriptive they are. Like they tell you what floor each barrel came from.
Man, transparency is an amazing thing.
It's fantastic. I love it. Like I never want to disparage from a company that actually wants to tell you the truth of what they're doing. Like I want them to succeed. I don't care what it is.
Right.
If you're truthful.
I think a lot of people don't do that because they don't want to be like, oh no, 6th floor is the floor. If you can get between H and Z, that's the section.
All right.
I'm gonna be interested to see if this is the non-Rickhouse proof.
Well, pull it
so
out.
you're pulling out number.
You're gonna pull it out.
Number 4.
Okay, so we'll talk about number 4 now.
The soft red wheat bottled and bond.
So now we're talking about 2 wheated. So we're talking a bottle of bond wheat and a Rickhouse proof wheat.
Yep.
So this tells me you guys do not like wheated.
That's not true.
I like that one.
I mean,
you guys messed up.
No, you're right. You did like this one, but we've definitely have wheated that I have really enjoyed.
Okay.
There's a lot of wheateds that are very nice.
I'm just poking. 4 is good.
Yeah.
4 is really good.
No, they're tasty.
I like 4.
I mean,
if you don't like it, Todd, I know you voted. I'll take it off your hands.
No, I would agree. No, I do like 4. 1 is
You didn't really like it, right?
I love your negotiation skills. I do.
When you drink 1 to 4 back to back, you can tell them the same.
You're a magician.
On to the next one.
So we're gonna move over to
the bourbon
2 and 3.
The bourbon.
Yeah,
Bourbon Rick.
And now we know that the wheat have been eliminated, and now it's a bourbon against bourbon. But now it's like high proof against bottle and bond, which should be pretty easy to decide, but we'll see.
It is kind of nice to compare these two.
Likes to likes.
Yeah, because before it was apples and oranges.
Right.
I like both of these a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're almost
2 and 3 are both very good.
They're almost indistinguishable.
Because in theory, knowing what we know is they're the same mash bill.
Right.
It's just different proof point. I do enjoy them quite a lot. I will definitely be looking out more for the holiday series of stuff. I'm wondering almost if they have any other standard or other options other than their standard Rickhouse or their bottled and bond option.
Yeah. The first thing that got me into trying these things is I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, you got to have the soft red wheat like Rickhouse," and so it's like, "Oh, that's the first thing I got." And now it's interesting to see that it was one of the earlier ones to get eliminated. Like, it wasn't like my preference or you guys' preference on what's offered. However, it's a quality product.
Yeah, I mean, one of the dudes I know, Bill, he was telling me that the soft red wheat Rickhouse proof is really good. Mm-hmm. And I haven't tried it yet. He said that one was better than some of the other stuff that they come out with. But, I guess it all depends on your favorite profile.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got one pick. So
I got one picked as well.
So hard.
Rock, paper, scissors, 3.
3?
I do like 2. 3 brings the heat.
I like it.
And I like 3.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would say in spite of the heat. I think I like the flavor with the heat, knowing that when I add an ice cube, this will actually last a really long time. Yeah. So I like, if I had to drink it neat, I'm picking 2. But as a straight bourbon, I'm picking 3.
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with 3 as well. I think as it evolves in the glass, if you have rocks or if it's in a cocktail or, whatever, even drinking it neat, but you're enjoying it slow sipping it. Yeah. I think like I would go with 3 over 2, but I am definitely a proof whore when it comes to that.
Right.
That's awesome. And I love the fact that you guys just said what you wanted to say, because I was not disagreeing with you guys. The only thing I would also add to 3 is that it's adding like some sweeter notes to it, where it's like
it's less watered down.
Yeah.
So should we see if we're right about being proof?
Yeah, let's find out if we're right in the first place. So we'll bring them out.
So, Todd, I'm going to pull out number 2.
Oh my gosh, it's a Ben Holladay.
Ben Holladay, bottled and bond.
How does a bottle and bond lose? We have 2 bottle and bond losing. That's crazy. That's actually the oldest aged one. That's a 7-year. And that is also is that a straight bourbon?
Bourbon?
Yeah.
It is a Missouri straight bourbon.
It says under U.S. government guidelines.
You remember when Todd thought this was the Rick House?
Yes.
We told him no.
And he's disagreed with us and said we were silly.
Todd, you're silly.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's a thing. It happens.
Yeah.
But it was delicious. Like, it had a tough time between.
Very good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bottle and bond, man. I am
it's
not.
It's hard to go wrong with a bottle of bond, honestly.
No.
You can pick one from anybody. Because they have rules. They have to be a thing.
I think it's the perfect.
Yeah.
And that's why I say it's mid. Like,
Not
when we talk about proof, it's mid-proof.
Yeah, it's
because
equal.
bottle and bond is mid-proof.
Maybe that's what Basil Hayden needs to do, is come out with a BIB. And then
it'd probably be good.
Like, it would actually taste good, yeah.
I think they would call it something other than, like, Basil Hayden, because they don't do anything.
They'd just call it Jim Beam.
Yeah, you're right. They would.
What was it? I can't remember. There was somebody who was telling me that the mash bill that Basil Hayden shares is not the standard Jim Beam. It's one of their other lines or something, but I can't remember right now.
It has to be. I mean,
it is, but it's just a lower proof version of it.
This isn't me ripping on Basil Hayden. It's
no,
just
not
more
at all.
that, like, you know, after you get into bourbon, you're looking for a little bit more.
Yeah.
And this is me also saying this podcast is not like sponsored by Basil Hayden.
Now number 3.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right, Todd. Let's pull it.
It has to be a bottle and bond, right?
No, it's the Rick House proof.
Oh, it is a Rick House.
So, Todd, what did you like so much about this?
Like corn flavor, high proof, like sweetness comes through with the corn.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was surprised when he was like, "No, you didn't pick it." I'm like, "Really? Like, this is the type of shit I love."
Yeah, you did pick in the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have picked the first time, but man,
no, you picked
and both times you actually picked the bourbon.
Yeah, no, you picked the bourbon. You picked this one, but you said it was lower proof than the bottom.
Oh well, that I was wrong on, but I was not wrong on the flavor because, I mean, straight bourbon at a 120 proof, Rick House proof, is gonna shine. Like,
how many years has that been aged?
6. They actually do a really good job of transparency at Ben Holladay.
They do. You're right, because if you look at every one of them, they'll tell you actually what floor each one of them is aged on.
See, that's awesome.
When they're barreled.
The only thing I worry about is all they do seem to be releasing is small batch stuff. Is it going to be consistent? Right.
Well, the problem we talked about earlier is like, what is a small batch?
What is?
Is it a 200 barrel batch, or is it a 10 barrel batch?
Because Jim Beam's small batch and Jack Daniel's small batch and Brown Forester's or Brown Foreman's small batch is going to be so much different than, a lot of other places.
Right.
So their volume is so much more.
I think it should be uniform. Like, if you call something a small batch,
I don't think it can be. It would have to be a percentage of what you can distill.
No, I think it has to be either 100 barrels or less, or 50 barrels or less.
But like for Jim Beam, that'd be a micro barrel.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
It be the same no matter what. Like, it's the same no matter what. For a bottle and bond, it has to be 100 proof. It has to be 4 years.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a volume statement. So I could totally understand if there's a percentage. If you said like, hey, like if it's a 5% or less or 10% or less of your overall distillate,
sure, that
would be a small batch.
But then add extra verbiage. Then say this is a micro batch, or this is a ultra batch, or this is a small batch.
Yeah.
It should be uniform. Like, because you have.
That's why I said percentage. I think percentage is the way to go.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Well, speaking of percentages, guys, this has been a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
It has been.
I'm impressed with the Holladay brand.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any of it before?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And I'm a big weeded fan, and I find that their bottled and bond weeded is pretty good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I would buy it for someone. I think that their bourbons were pretty good. I think that, there was only one that I did not like.
Yeah.
And maybe with an ice cube, that one would just calm down a little bit. But I'm not convinced that it would, with an ice cube, ever get to the quality of what that number, number 4, the bottle of the Bourbon was.
Yeah. Did you know that actually Ben Holladay's been distilling since 1856?
I did not know that.
That is crazy.
That is wild.
That is way before Prohibition. That's like
I know.
Louisiana Purchase.
Pre-medicinal.
Yes.
Well, I think there was another bottle that we saw. I think it was around 1855 from last episode.
Yeah.
Well, you just went out.
Me?
Oh, yeah. You're on now.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sound went out
Yeah.
somehow.
I didn't even move.
What a great episode.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Cheers. Ben Holladay, definitely a drink.
Ben Holladay.
I do not want to experience these episodes or these experiences without you guys because I really do appreciate it's going out again. Like I really appreciate having these experiences with you guys.
Yeah.
And even with the hardcore like smack talk that Josh likes to throw out there, like I look at him and just shake my head and say, man, if only you knew. And it's easy enough to do that. And we can all understand that situation.
For sure. Cheers.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Till next time.
Love you guys.
See ya.
All right. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next episode.